Good afternoon and welcome to today's session for National Apprenticeship Week. This session will be led by Anne Ashworth, Head of Employee Apprenticeships at Pearson, and Siobhan Bradley, Programme Manager for Employee Apprenticeships. We will also hear from our very own Ali and Zaki, who will take us through their journeys as apprentices within Pearson. In this session, you will hear about the benefits of apprenticeships and we'll find out more about Pearson as an apprenticeship provider and employer. On that note, I will hand over to Anne Ashworth to kick off the session.
We're going to start off with just a little bit of an introduction into Pearson, if that's okay. I think it's probably fair to say you know us more for some of the brands in the UK like BTEX, Edexcel. You might also know us as an examination body, but Pearson is a lot more than that. I mean, we are a global business. We stretch right across pretty much every single country there is. We touch the lives of millions of people from all walks of life and involved in education or professional upskilling learning. So everything from very young learners all the way through to those that are thinking about things they might like to do for fun, as well as things around employability. We're also very much about digital learning. So I think what's happened in recent times has really galvanized our movement into moving our digital learning agenda through a lot faster than we were planning, but I think in a very good way. So from an employer perspective, lots of exciting roles in the business, which also lends themselves beautifully to apprenticeships, particularly in the digital technology space as well. So we're not the only business that's moving very fast. I think it's fair to say that pretty much every employer I speak to has got a lot of things happening in their businesses. But for us, I think because we're connected to learning, it really does mean that it's an incredibly rewarding part of an employer to be part of at this time. So there's a little bit about me. I think the one key thing that I would pull out of this, and don't feel that you've got to read it all, is that I actually started off my working career as an apprentice. I was very lucky to join an apprenticeship programme up in Scotland, one of only 10 candidates taken from the whole of the top of Scotland to go and work in the atomic energy establishment up there. That set the tone for what I wanted to do for the rest of my career. I always knew that I wanted to go into the RENs, and for me to actually do the job that I wanted to do, I needed to do the apprenticeship and be successful at it. So it really gave me a foot in the door. And I think that's absolutely the same thing with apprenticeships now. They give you a foot in the door, they give you choices, they give you options. And I look back on that start and I've able to move my career in all sorts of slight differences, the way that I've moved through according to opportunities that have come up. So then, brief resume of what an apprenticeship is. And so I'll try hard not to sort of say the things that you might already know, but I would say it's an absolutely fantastic way to get into either into an organisation or into a career. If you know what you want to do, then there is probably an apprenticeship that exists for it. If you know who you want to work with, then more often than not, they will have an apprenticeship programme. And even small businesses are very built into apprenticeships. They're keen to take on people. For many businesses, they're developing their skills as we come out of the pandemic. And as we also have to think about Brexit as well, and where they're positioning their strategy. They're looking for workforce development. They're looking for succession planning. Apprenticeships are a phenomenal way to do that, because in terms of the apprenticeship content, I suppose the easiest thing to say is it's split into 3 parts. The main bit is the learning element of it. Then you have something called a gateway, which is where you just take stock to say, right, okay, we've got this, we're now ready to move to the next point. And then you have endpoint assessment. And that is where it's an objective series of assessment activities that are carried out, whereby at the end of it, you achieve your apprenticeship. And in most cases, those apprenticeships now are also graded. So it could be a pass merit distinction, for example. And ultimately, it's down to you as to which of those you want to aim for. And, you know, we're finding apprentices are incredibly proud of what they want to achieve and what they do achieve on their apprenticeship. So distinctions are not impossible by any stretch of the imagination. And I think if you are keen to work and learn and put a lot of commitment in, then you reap the reward through an apprenticeship as well, because you're already starting to put it into practice through your job. And in terms of benefits, I mean, they're wide and varied. And as you can see at the bottom of this slide, there's been loads and loads of surveys, and we've conducted some that really points to the fact that apprenticeships certainly are something employers are keen to undertake with their staff and bring in young people into the business as well, but also that employers are committed to them. You know, we give 20% off every week to an apprentice for them to work on their apprenticeship content. That's a big commitment, and it's one that we gladly do because we see the benefits to the apprentice, but we see the benefits also back into our business. I mean, it improves line managers' soft skills in the way that they can support and work with not just the apprentice but their teams, and also it helps develop processes and systems within a team as well, because the apprentice is bringing in lots of new ideas. So it certainly does bring in an retention improvement as well. People want to stay, they get really enthusiastic about the apprenticeship and they want to do more. And you've got there a number of different reasons why it's beneficial. But certainly we're finding with our apprenticeship program in Pearson that an awful lot of our apprentices get promoted during their apprenticeship. They certainly take on extra responsibilities, and our apprentices in turn become managers of other apprentices in the future. So it's something that once you're in, you want to continue and perpetuate and help other people to be successful as well. And there's a whole range of different professional networks that you can be part of. And for many apprenticeships as well, you do get an associate membership of a professional body. So again, it gets you that foot in the door for your career, which is hugely beneficial.
If you're looking for a career where you can unleash your own talent whilst helping millions of people to progress in their life in that fair and equitable way that we are working, then Pearson really could be the employer for you. We offer entry routeways throughout the year to join our company. So please do check out our website regularly at pearson.jobs. Apprenticeships are usually a permanent position within Pearson. We really want to future-proof that talent and keep you within our business. Although some are fixed-term contracts and are dependent on the job role. And Anne mentioned that about job roles being quite important in terms of your career opportunities. They really vary in length, so they have to be a minimum of 1 year, so tends to be about 15 months in Pearson, and can be anything up to about 3 or 4 years, depending on the apprenticeship level, if there's a degree attached. We offer from level 3 to level 7. And we are seeing more opportunities coming through day by day, and some as well in those higher level apprenticeships that Anne mentioned. We are a FTSE 100 company, so as you can imagine, our roles are competitively paid. So the salary is against the market kind of equivalents for big businesses like ours. And we also offer that 20% off the job commitment to you as an apprentice. So effectively 1 day a week is ring fence and dedicated to your apprenticeship training. And also mentioned about the facility to get the professional membership and accreditation. So if things like ACCA for finance speaks to you and that's something you would like to pursue, or the CIPD if you would like to become a HR professional, or APM for the project managers amongst you, then the apprenticeship also is a really good routeway to gain these professional membership. We're committed to supporting our apprentices, and we have a really strong network of support if you were to join us at Pearson on an apprenticeship. So as well as the dedicated apprenticeship team that Anne and myself work in, we are supported with over 25 apprentice ambassadors who are there day to day, helping you along your journey on the apprenticeship. We also have dedicated mentors and senior leader sponsors who would support you throughout your journey. We are a global company in almost 200 companies, as was in the recent poll. But in the UK, we operate out of the main sites of London, Manchester, Harlow, Oxford, and Rotherham in Yorkshire, with a mix of hybrid, on-site and remote working at this time. And very much something as a result of the pandemic has meant there's more flexibility in the roles. So definitely something just to bear in mind when you are going through the process around the types of roles, where they're based and how we work. If at this point in your career you are pursuing a degree and you're looking at going off to university, then we do also offer summer internships and longer placements over a year. So it might be something that you would come back to us and think about joining us on. And that also is advertised on Pearson.jobs. We offer no less than over 40 apprenticeship standards in occupational areas in Pearson, anything from the advanced level right up to that degree level 7 master's level as well. These are just a real taster of the levels and areas of work that we offer apprenticeships in. We've talked a lot today about digital. Digital tech divisions are huge in terms of the numbers of staff in Pearson, and we're seeing a lot more of the digital tech solutions degree being undertaken by staff, as well as things like digital marketer, the junior content production, video editing, if that's something you're interested in. And so it gives you a flavour of the breadth of jobs and occupational areas and careers you could go in via Pearson on the apprenticeship scheme. I am now delighted to hand over to one of our apprentices who's going to talk you through her journey. She's on to her second apprenticeship, big advocate and one of my apprentice ambassadors who's really passionate about apprenticeships, and she's really happy to be sharing the stage during National Apprenticeship Week to talk about her journey. So I'll hand over to Ali Titmus.
I started an apprenticeship straight after sixth form, so I went to a school that was very much uni, and I just knew that it wasn't for me. I wasn't prepared to sit another 4 years in lessons all the time, listening to teachers. I had been working for quite a while at a pub and I was just ready to start earning money, but I knew that I also needed new qualifications to be able to develop further, because I knew I had the skills, I just didn't want to apply them at university. So I worked for a year and then joined Pearson in 2019. Someone referred me for a job role in the customer success team, and it all really started from there. So I did my level 3 sales apprenticeship, which I got at the time they didn't have the distinction, so I just passed, but I got told it was very good work, so that was all okay. During that apprenticeship, I actually moved job roles, so I went from a customer success consultant to a student enrolment advisor for the new online school, Harrow School Online and Pearson Online Academy, so working internationally with different parents and pupils to enrol them into our new online schools. And then from there, I started another apprenticeship, which is my chartered management degree apprenticeship, and have moved job roles again to become the manager of the team that I was in. So now, as you can see on the description, I look after 11 beautiful team members, one of which is also an apprentice, which I'm really happy about. So my job role is essentially supporting them, getting the results for UK school sales. So we look after around £9 million retention in our team, and our aim is to keep people with Pearson. I know Anne touched on, we're not just examiners, we do a lot of different things. So in my job role, we sell the textbooks to secondary schools, but I work really closely with primary schools to support them with the learning there and with our product teams to develop the products to meet what the market needs. I could not advocate apprenticeships enough. It was so great being able to simultaneously apply my skills that I was learning in my apprenticeship to my job role to be able to develop and progress myself. And I feel as if I was given the same amount of opportunity as anyone else. I wasn't discriminated against because I wasn't there for a day on my apprenticeship, because I was younger than the rest of my team. I was given the same, if not more, opportunity than my peers. And the salary, again, as a young person, I love to think that we all go to work for love, but it is at the same time about the salary, your career, and I can say that I was treated exactly the same as well. The mentors that I've received have also been absolutely excellent. I've got 2 at the moment, one from our internet side, so he makes all of our websites, and I've also got a senior leader mentor who is the director of sales. So a bit scary that they're my manager's manager, but at the same time very beneficial, and she gives some great insight as well. So yeah, advocacy for apprenticeships all the way. It is the best way to learn. I have the soft skills, I have the technical skills that I need, and going into university and still getting that experience is great because I'm part of the hybrid scheme. So I got given the opportunity to either be fully online or part online, part in. So I go into London twice every month for my university. And then from working, you can see that I'm at home at the moment, but I do get the opportunity to go to any of our offices. Closest to me are Oxford and London. So I mainly go to the Oxford office, but very occasionally pop into London as well. So that's my apprenticeship story. And it's just been absolutely amazing. But I'm going to pass you on to Zaki, who is another one of our apprenticeships, who's soon to be an ambassador as well.
Thank you, Ali. So yeah, like Ali said, I'm one of the apprentices on the scheme. I've not done anywhere near as much as Ali has done in terms of the apprenticeship. I only started 4 months ago. It's definitely been a whirlwind 4 months. My very first week was the week where we had all the top executives and top staff of Pearson coming in, and just about a bit about my apprenticeship itself. I'm doing an apprenticeship in IT, so taking care of all of the technical hardware and software needs of all the company's users. So like Ali was working outside of the company, so she works for Pearson, supplying things to people outside of the company. I work for what you call one of the corporate functions, which means I work as part of the business, supporting other people within the business. So it was very high pressure for the very first week coming onto an IT apprenticeship and being expected to help all of the top execs. And when I say top, I mean right at the very top level of Pearson. But it was an amazing opportunity for me to get to know them, speak to them, see people at that level, which if I had gone through another course or another route, it would have been very difficult. It's taken a very long time for me to even have an opportunity to interact with people on that kind of level. But the place I'm in, the opportunities I've been given, and in a great part is down to my mentor, my land manager as well, who made sure that when I first started, not only was I introduced to everyone, but they were all made aware of who I am, what I'm doing, why I'm here. But for me, an apprenticeship, it was almost out of the question for most of my life. I thought after A levels, I realized that even before I'd taken my exams, I'd gotten to a point where I was very tired, very fatigued when it came to revision, exams, lessons and lectures. It became something that I felt, I'm not sure how much longer I want to do this for. I'm not sure if I can really do this. And I realized, and I was quite lucky because I had the support of my parents and people around me, that I decided I didn't want to go to university. I decided, you know what, if I'm not motivated enough coming towards the end of my A levels, university is a whole other step up. So I was quite lucky. A lot of people feel like that is just the only pathway available. That's the only option. And certainly in the school that I went to, the sixth form, it was very much a case of university was what was expected of you. But at the same time, they made sure we were aware of the other options, even if they did push you towards university. And at the time, I was told quite a lot about apprenticeships, but I never really considered them, never really thought of them, because I thought in my head, at that time, I felt like they were almost like a level below university, or doesn't carry as much prestige, it's not as important, or it's not as useful as a university degree might be. So I finished my A levels and I thought, right, let me go straight into the job market and just try and build up. And I went from job to job to job, because at that age, I had no clue what I wanted to do. Like you can see on the screen, I did all sorts of things. And I loved loads of those jobs, but none of them felt like this is a career. This is something that I'm going to continue on with. I never saw any kind of continuation with any of those. And then when I was kind of referred to this IT role here at Pearson, it was when I was working as an estate agent, which again, I enjoyed. It was fun. By the kind of very nature of that job role, you do have to enjoy yourself. But there were a lot of downfalls and things that I found I didn't quite like about it. So I was introduced to this IT role at Pearson, and it didn't seem like what I would have thought IT to be. I was told, I was given this story of Pearson's IT department. It's not just about fixing computers and helping people out with IT issues. It's really about networking, getting to know people, and becoming someone who people can rely on. And when I looked at it in a different light, I found, you know what, yeah, this kind of resonates with me. And at the same time, because I'm on one of the fixed term contract apprenticeships, which means it's not a permanent role necessarily, there may come one available at the end of the apprenticeship, but that remains to be seen at the moment. At the end of my apprenticeship, which is 1.5 years, I have the option to then kind of take a step back and think, right, I've had this time. Do I want to continue, or do I want to look towards something else? And in that whole time, it's not like it's time wasted, or it's not like it's time that I've lost if I choose to go down another path, because the entire time, not only was I getting experience within a job role at a company like Pearson, which is incredible, I was also, earning. Like Annie said, we do love to enjoy what we do, and we do like to think that there is a certain passion for what we do. But at the same time, we're not kind of working for a charity here. We're working to earn as well. So it was a great kind of thought for me that it won't be 2 years wasted, whether I go on with it at the end or not. This is a chance for me to learn. And, 4 months in, I've no regrets. It looks like this is absolutely what I'm going to carry on doing. And hopefully, at Pearson as well, that'll be the place that I look to stay after.
Thank you so much to everyone for joining us today. We hope this session was insightful and inspiring. Please do get in contact if you have any questions, because it keeps us as employers and as an awarding body on our toes and ensures that we're meeting everybody's needs. Thank you to ThinkFest for including us. It was really great to be a part of.